The OnePlus 12, and let me tell you something. This is definitely the forgotten flagship. OnePlus has just been kind of going about its business with this device this year, but I don't know if it was a Prime Day matching sale or something like that, but Best Buy had it for $699, and even regularly, you could get the 12 gigabyte version for $799. And when you consider that Samsung really, they'll have these periods where they have sales, or they have these periods where there's enhanced trade-in offers or something like that, so you could save some money on the S24 Ultra. For the most part, that device has held pretty high up there, so you're still paying over $1,200, over $1,400 for the for more storage for that device. So that's when the OnePlus 12 really comes into focus, especially this time of year when the sales start on the OnePlus 12. Samsung's kind of holding firm on their pricing for the S24 Ultra, and this becomes an even better value when you look at it. Spec-wise, you're not being cheated a whole heck of a lot. You're getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. You're getting 12 or even 16 gigabytes of RAM. You're getting a nice, big, gorgeous OLED display. You're getting a premium build quality. I really like this. I don't know what this was, the emerald or the jade or something like that. They usually have one of these colors, but it's kind of a marbleized whatever. It's growing on me. At first, it seemed like a 90s mall food court kind of aesthetic on the back of this thing, but it's definitely grown on me over time. You have the gigantic 5400 milliamp hour battery, and then of course when it's time to top off, if you're overseas, it's 100 watts. Here in the United States, 80 watts, because I know we have a phobia for fast charging here in the United States. Thanks Samsung on the Note 7 for that one. But performance wise, you're not missing a beat. Gaming, it's slightly better than the S24 Ultra. In fact, I think this is one of the best. If you're just a hardcore gamer, but you don't want one of those Red Magics or something like that, or whatever they call them now, those different gaming phones, if you don't want something that just screams gamer aesthetic or is too boxy or all the rest of it, this is really the phone that you're going to want to look at, because you get all of that kind of raw gaming performance, but in a civilized package. You could carry this around and use it as your everyday smartphone, and you're really not going to have a problem. Battery, because of that little extended battery, those extra 400 milliamp hour, it's a really nice long battery, over 8 hours of screen on time. I'll give Snapdragon or Qualcomm credit. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is one of their better ones, power efficiency wise. They're not always, everybody always writes it in. I was like, oh well, yeah, Snapdragon is going to be good. Not every year. We have a recency bias there. The last couple ones have been pretty good, pretty much since the 8 Plus Gen 1. But before that, the regular 8 Gen 1, the 888, not so hot on and then there were some others from ancient history that weren't that good. So it's not a given every year that the Snapdragon is going to be power efficient, but this year it happens to be. But that premium build all the way around, I still, we talked about this in the main review. I'll link that at the end of this video so you could see the camera samples I'm talking about. I don't mind the color, and I do think that Hasselblad helps a little bit with the color science. To me, they just look a touch darker, a touch softer. Now, a lot of people said they preferred that. Oh, it set the mood. It captured the mood of the image, and it was better, and it was this, and it was that. That's all going to be personal preference. But you know what? For $700 or $800, here's the credit that I'll give OnePlus. They're at least in the conversation for personal preference. With the OnePlus 8, less so with the OnePlus 9, it wasn't it's what you prefer type of conversation with OnePlus cameras. It was, these are objectively worse than Samsung and Google and Apple. So there was a definite drop-off from other flagship devices. I will say it's I still don't prefer the images, but at least it's a conversation. At least it's open to interpretation and your own personal preferences as to whether you like the cameras on the OnePlus 12. So overall, software, this is the other thing that holds me up. I don't prefer, I'll say it this way, I don't prefer Oxygen OS. I just don't. I used to prefer it. There was a time not that long ago where I preferred it to One UI. I don't any longer with the Color OS integration. There's something about it that just doesn't click performance-wise. I feel like Oxygen OS holds back the raw performance and excellence of the hardware of the OnePlus 12. I can't shake that. I don't like it. There's something about it that's just a slight. I just don't like it for whatever reason, and that's you know what, that's just on me at that point. If you don't mind Oxygen OS, then you're getting a phenomenal deal. You don't have to worry about it. 4 years of major upgrades, slap on another year for security updates. That's enough. I mean, the competition. This is the other thing that we went over. I don't like and now they get a pass for the $700 price tag. But I don't like this argument that, well, nobody carries the phone for 7 years anyway. Nonsense. People do. And if other manufacturers are offering it, I don't want to hear about how people don't use it. I want to hear whatever. I want to hear how you're going to get me that result that the other competitors seem to. Now, Google you're $900 for the Pixel 8 Pro, $1,200 like we talked about for the S24 Ultra. So it's $700. If that's the kind of trade-off I'm making, if it's something I have to sacrifice to kind of get to that price point, then I could start to buy that. Then that bothers me a heck of a lot less. This is also a great device for people who feel abandoned by Samsung. If you were an S21 Ultra user, if you were an S21 user, if you're holding on to your S10 Plus, you just don't like those flat displays on the Samsung devices now. A lot of people don't consider a device premium unless it has one of these waterfall thin bezel kind of tapered displays. And that's, listen, that's going to be your personal preference again. However, Samsung has completely moved away from that. So if you're somebody who thought that, you were kind of, especially in the United States, you were kind of left in the lurch as far as finding another home. And the OnePlus is definitely an opportunity to get a home there. But overall, let me tell you something. You're really enjoying this phone overall. I mean, software stuff aside, my personal differences there. You're getting the entire flagship experience, and not to quote the no compromises thing or don't settle or whatever else, but you're really not settling. You're not settling a whole lot here, and you're paying significantly less. So you really just have to kind of wrap your head around the fact that it's not a Samsung device. You're getting the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 here on the front. It's 220 grams. It's not a huge, problem on the your Quad HD display, the bright display. I mean, there's all these things that you're getting that are absolutely checking every single box, with maybe the exception of a slightly substandard for flagship camera. And if you could just kind of accept that, then there really isn't a reason why you'd avoid a OnePlus 12 unless you are just absolutely a shutterbug and you need all of it, or if you're just kind of this AI-heavy person that needs all the AI in the world, which I don't really see that yet. I think you could get away with another generation of a device like this where you're not really worried about AI because it's not really there yet on the Samsung or Google devices, and I really feel like you're losing anything here. Plus, you can also get download Gemini or whatever you're on here, and you can add AI to this if you want, and that's really all you're going to need, I think, for a while anyway. But overall, I'm really pleased with it. Every time I put my SIM back in it, I had my SIM back in it for about a week. Doing the video today because I'm putting it over into the Razr Plus today, but it really impresses. It's quietly impressive. I think OnePlus is just the past couple of the OnePlus 11 was the same way, very workmanlike, very good, premium. Good price. Same thing here with the OnePlus 12. So, and the 12R, phenomenal value. So if they can kind of keep that going in the right direction and maybe dial in the software a little bit better, I think you're really looking at OnePlus maybe getting some consistency again and being a legitimate threat to the likes of Google and Samsung. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.